In the statement of the necessity of knowing the principles of religion and its importance in the life of a Shia Muslim, Islam is a great religion founded on firm principles and foundations, and at the heart of these foundations lie the 5 roots of religion: monotheism, justice, prophethood, leadership, and resurrection, which form the Shia creed. The obligation to know these roots is not just a casual directive, but a crucial necessity that falls on the shoulders of every Shia Muslim, because in understanding and deeply accepting them lies the secret of true faith and adherence to the pure creed. Monotheism is the foundation of the Islamic religion, embodying the firm belief in the oneness of God Almighty and rejecting any form of polytheism or atheism. Quranic verses and noble hadiths have emphasized the importance of monotheism and the necessity of understanding and applying it in all aspects of life. Allah Almighty says in His noble book, "And I did not create the jinn and mankind except to worship me," affirming that worship and monotheism are the purpose of human creation. And the intended worship here is not the traditional one, but knowing Allah Almighty and following His straight path. Justice, as a principle of religion in the Shia creed, means believing in the justice of Allah Almighty, in His creation and His decrees, which particularly distinguishes the Shia creed. The divine justice assures the worshippers that everything happening in this universe occurs according to profound wisdom and absolute justice. And we are here in this world for a divine test. We see many matters that seem as if justice is missing in this world, but with a comprehensive view, we understand that this world is only for testing, and true justice for everyone will be realized on the day of resurrection. Prophethood is considered a fundamental pillar in understanding the principles of religion, where Shia Muslims believe that Allah Almighty chose His prophets to guide humanity and deliver His heavenly messages, and that Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him and his family, is the seal of the prophets and messengers. Imamah means believing that leadership is a continuation of prophethood in guiding the ummah and preserving the religion, and that the imams are from the Prophet's family, peace be upon him and his family, are infallible and hold spiritual and religious leadership over Muslims. Imamah, as it was, for the seal of the messengers, Muhammad, peace be upon him and his family, also existed in the lives of all the major prophets. After each major prophet, there came prophets and messengers who were in reality prophets and successors, explaining and clarifying the previous heavenly messages. After Noah, peace be upon him, came Seth, and after Abraham, peace be upon him, came Ishmael and Isaac, and then Jacob and Joseph, considering them his successors and explainers of his message. And after Moses, peace be upon him, came Aaron, then Joshua, son of Nun, then Aaron's sons, Shubar and Shubair, all of whom were prophets, but in reality were explainers and clarifiers of Moses' message. Similarly, after Jesus, peace be upon him, came the disciples mentioned by Allah Almighty in the Holy Quran. Thus, the matter of Imamah is not only a Shia Islamic issue, but is rooted in its Quranic foundations. Abraham, peace be upon him, requested a successor when he said, "And grant me a reputation of honor among later generations." And the reputation of honor refers to the Imam who comes to explain his heavenly message. This term also appears in Surah Maryam, when Allah Almighty said, "And we bestowed upon them of our mercy, and we made for them a high word of truth." The Quran also clearly states that the prophets who came after all the major prophets were imams by a Quranic verse when Allah Almighty said, "And we made them leaders, guiding by our command. And we inspired to them the doing of good deeds, establishment of prayer, and giving of zakat. And they were worshippers of us." And also said, "And we made from among them leaders, guiding by our command, when they were patient and when they were certain of our signs." Mad is the belief in life after death, resurrection, and judgment, where every person will be recompensed for what they have earned of good or evil. Knowing these principles and adhering to them requires research, contemplation, and a deep understanding of religious texts from the Holy Quran and the noble hadiths of the Ahlul Bayt, peace be upon them. The hadiths have emphasized the importance of the nature in recognizing these truths, where the Prophet, peace be upon him and his family, said, "Every child is born on the fitrah," indicating that a human is born inclined to recognize Allah Almighty and monotheism. Therefore, every Shia Muslim must strive to learn and understand the principles of their religion, not through blind imitation, but through reflection and seeking truths for themselves, because ultimately, every individual is responsible for their creed before Allah Almighty. And pursuing knowledge and religious understanding remains a path to achieving certainty and following the path of Ahlul Bayt, peace be upon them, who are examples and role models for Muslims in every time and place.